What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and today we're here to talk about the OPPO Find N folding phone, but more specifically, the technical aspects of the display technology, the R&D, display specs, and most importantly, the durability, which in this particular model is rated and physically tested for over 200,000 folds, which is really impressive. I want to give a huge thanks to OPPO for sponsoring this video, and I've had this phone for about 6 months now, and it's really been a fun experience to bring it around, test it out from a lifestyle perspective, and also see how the overall durability is beyond just the numbers. In OPPO's case, so what I really like about them as a company is that they're never afraid to push the envelope of cool form factors. They've been experimenting with that since about 2018, and whether it is the foldable phone, the under-display camera that we saw at Mobile World Congress, I love to see that innovation in the industry because you never know what is going to be the most practical use of new technology such as these folding screens. The OPPO Find N is currently available in the Chinese market, but it's something that I think would do very well in the global market because I've been asked about it quite a few times. So for starters, from a usability perspective, I really like the form factor. I just find that this is an easy phone to use with one hand, and especially if you just want to use the front-facing display to be able to make phone calls, navigate social media, and use it like a traditional device, it is a lot more comfortable. It's not too tall and skinny, or not too wide that you can't fit it in your pocket comfortably, but at the same time, the thickness is also a good balance that makes the phone easy to grip. It's a 6.49-inch display with an aspect ratio of 18:9, which is what everyone's used to, and also a resolution of 1972 by 988. The large main display, on the other hand, is 7.1 inches, and it's the folding aspect that you're able to open up and view things and utilize apps at a full screen basis. This one features an aspect ratio of 9:8.4 with a resolution of 1920 by 792. The technology behind it is a 10-layered serene display on the OPPO Find N that offers protection and durability and works in conjunction with the Flexion hinge for the smoothest foldable experience ever. The Flexion UTG glass also offers the first layer of protection and flexibility, and what you're also going to notice on the front and back is that there is kind of like a screen protector element to it to ensure that you're protecting your display long term. It is also powered by the Snapdragon 888 SoC, which is the latest on the market and features 12 gigs of RAM with 512 gigs of onboard storage. What OPPO is really focused on, though, is the Flexion hinge, and this is technology that has been very specifically engineered to ensure good usability, an almost invisible crease right here, which is probably the best that I've seen on any folding phone, as well as long-term durability that they have physically tested in a facility. It is rated for over 200,000 folds, which is just very impressive because if you think about all the times that you take your phone out during the day, which in my case is very subconscious, I use my phone all the time, whether it's like open up to check an email, check the calendar, maybe open it up to also take a photo somewhere and utilize this large viewfinder. I probably take my phone out up to a couple hundred times a day, and with a 200,000 flex hinge rating, that is literally going to be able to last way beyond the expected lifespan or usable lifespan of an average smartphone, and also one that is used more than average. The moving joint is meant to emulate like the human body and has a nice and natural mechanism to it that is consisted of 136 components that comes together with extreme precision, forming a water shaped when closed. So as you kind of see here, we fold it down like that. There's practically no gap between the display there. It comes together nicely, has a very cool click to it. And if you take a look along here as well, the gap is essentially very minimal, which with a hinge itself, instead of just being like a curved design, if you accidentally like put some pressure on the phone while it's sitting down, you don't have to worry about it like snapping or breaking because the wide spine with like the curved elements are able to protect that sophisticated 136 part joint. The hinge design also allows you to use the phone in what is called a flex form mode, which uses a cam and spring structure that allows the device to stand freely anywhere between 50 and 120 degrees. Together with the software features that take advantage of the folding display, the OPPO Find N gives you like great flexibility to adapt the device to a wide form of usage scenarios. Another use case is being able to stand it up on the table and take some photos, record a video of yourself. So yeah, there's so many ways that you can go ahead and utilize this, and I've tried to find as many use cases, but it's just one of those things that as you use the phone for a little bit longer throughout its usable lifespan, you're going to find ways to take advantage of this display very specifically, and the options are essentially limitless. In terms of the actual display quality though, these are also incredible screens. I feel like they're very well calibrated, that look natural but at the same time very vibrant, and they have all the latest specs with a peak brightness of up to 1000 nits and 10,240 individual controls to get very precise auto brightness depending on the scenario that you're in. The OPPO Find N also has a refresh rate of 120 Hz and a touch sampling rate of 1000 Hz, so the phone just feels very fluid and responsive, similar to its design and curvature. But at the same time, if you're like doing any like drawing or note taking, which is something that you could take advantage on a display of this size, you're going to love that experience. Beyond that though, the phone also has a triple camera setup on the back, featuring the Sony IMX766 sensor, and you also have two 16 megapixel cameras that cover both the ultra wide, telephoto, and also just the main camera that can also take a photo at a very high resolution. Not only can you walk around and get that great perspective through the foldable screen, but you can also set it down in that flex form mode and just take a photo of like a crowd, for example, if you don't have anyone else holding the camera. And there is also a front-facing camera both on the actual front side and on the corner right here. So again, you can prop it up to that perfect angle, say for like a conference call and stuff. And those are just other examples of how this folding mechanism is able to provide benefits beyond the actual display and software features. From a battery standpoint, you also have a 4500 milliamp hour battery that is built in, and that is very important because you've got a lot of displays here, and on a phone that seems relatively thin, and especially with the displays being on both sides of this. And you also have OPPO's fast charging, which is able to reach a max of 33 watts, which gets you about 0 to 100 in about 70 minutes. There's also 15-watt wireless charging and 10-watt reverse wireless charging. I feel like it's a very complete package where OPPO has really done a good job in all categories. The software is an area that is always going to be refined, and it's one where in the future there are going to be more use cases in a foldable phone, but I do feel like this is an example where every possible utility has been thought of so far, and durability is a huge focus, which has kind of been the concern for a lot of people on initial release